If it is or if it ain't, it's going to come out. Good morning, everybody. It's your girl, Miracle Sims, and you are listening to God, Sex, and Love, your daily dose of inspiration and juice. It is February the 22nd, 2023. And today, the topic is my enemies. Good morning, good morning, good morning, all. And happy Wednesday. Yes, happy Wednesday. I hope that you all had a great day yesterday. Mine was just fine. Not too much to report from yesterday. I mean, I guess the main things is that the girl was able to get some groceries. Got some groceries yesterday, so to God be the glory for that, right? Being able to get groceries in this season. It was I kind of just started racking up on just whatever that I could think that we would need or want, you know. A little bit of both. More needs than wants, but still, you know, I was racking up on both. What else happened yesterday? I mean, I had some meaningful conversations here and there. I can't think of nothing of significance to share in this moment. Like, NJ had a class yesterday. We order pizza as well. So, you know how you grocery shop, but then you still like, okay, to get something to eat right now because we hungry right now, you know. So we ordered some pizza or whatever. Technically it wasn't yesterday, Fat Tuesday or something like that. Honestly, I don't too much get into like all the holidays, you know what I'm saying? Like, or all the holy days, if you want to say. You know, and I don't know if it's something I need to start doing or incorporating or whatever. I'm just not really that familiar, right? I know that there's, I guess, Lent and all these different things coming up where I think people are preparing or people are doing things for. And I'm just, I don't know. I'm not, I guess because I have not done that throughout my life, I'm not necessarily familiar with it. I guess I need to like study it or something. But anywho, yeah, that's pretty much what yesterday looked like. And today, it's going to be rather busy because your girl is going to be at the church tonight doing my small group with Madam Miraculous. Y'all know Madam Miraculous, right? My character, the scientist character that I have created for my first children's book. You know, Madam Miraculous in the Messy Laboratory, in case you didn't know. Yes, it's available on Amazon and all that good stuff. Oh. Yeah, yeah, Madam Miraculous is going to go to the church and talk to the children, and everything like that. I think we might actually do an experiment tonight. So basically what I'm thinking I'm doing today is that I have an interview to do, I think for GSL. So we'll see if that happens or not. Then at some point I need to get ready kind of early because I want to go run by the store, grab a few things for tonight. And then I believe we're doing mock interviews for Anchored for Phlebotomy tonight. So that is another thing that's supposed to be going down. And then after that, your girl should be doing the Miracle Lab over at Mountain West and whatnot. So add on being a mom on all of that as well, because, you know, obviously my little guy will be going with me and whatnot. And so I have to incorporate him in all those things as well, you know, while I'm doing the interview, making sure he's good and, you know, quiet in the background and all that type of stuff. Or while getting him ready early as well to head out to go to the store, which he's probably going to be with me. You know what I mean? It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. But I'll let y'all know how it goes. That's my general idea of what's supposed to happen today. But again, we'll see what the Lord do. Because look, I'm going with God's flow, y'all. I'm going with God's flow. That's what we talked about yesterday, right? Well, yeah, this conversation of my enemies today. Like, to be honest, in my heart and mind, I don't necessarily feel like I have a quote unquote enemy or have any quote unquote enemies. At least to me, like, I don't look at people as enemies per se, right? But I think like when certain people, or I think people can be used, right, to persecute you in ways that they maybe don't even realize, and I believe that, again, as a believer, this is just how it shows up in my life. Like, this is how some persecution shows up in my life. I feel like it comes through things that people say or do, or things like that, that is seemingly trying to trigger me to activate something else, which is interesting because I feel like I keep coming in this like circle, or whatever the case is, where I don't know if there's a temptation for me to be the type of person that flies off the handle, right? Or be the type of person that retaliates or whatever. Like, I don't get me wrong. Obviously, we studied on Monday or whenever that was that, obviously there's room for boldness, right? And I believe there's room for rebuke and whatnot as well. But then, to take things to another level where you're like playing tit for tat, or, quote unquote, putting people in their place or whatever, I don't know if I've ever desired to be that type of person. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, okay, I could see where I could be more bold, right? Or I could be more, straightforward when it comes to like how I feel and whatnot. And I feel like there are times that I am that way. But I also feel like, I guess I just use my discernment with people, and I don't too much like the idea of wasting my time feeling like I'm talking to brick walls or whatever. Like, again, maybe this is because of the relationship that I was in prior to my husband and whatnot. Like, literally feeling like I'm talking to a brick wall, feeling like I needed to, yell or whatever to be heard and stuff like that. And I'm not in a situation, nor have I mean, now obviously, again, I had to kind of, again, fight to, I guess, get the voice that you all hear every day, right? I had to fight to become this person that was bold enough to, speak my mind, my opinion, or whatever, and everything like that. But I don't know. I guess I feel like there's a balance when it comes to all of this. Like, this whole idea and concept of enemies, I can't necessarily fully embrace, because like I said, in my mind, I don't see people as enemies. But then I guess I have to like acknowledge what people, again, say and do and stuff. So it's like, okay, and I guess, right, if it's going to trigger or whatever something in me to, I guess, not handle things the way that God would, then I guess that there lies the problem. I don't know. There's a lot of things I'm still figuring out when it comes to all of that. But that's what came into my heart and mind this morning in regards to what to study. What to study. I feel like I'm kind of getting some mixed messages in regards to, like, again, how I should handle my particular situations and whatnot. But when I go to the Word of God, I feel like it's very plain and clear, where it's like, again, the word says clearly, vengeance is mine, say the Lord. It says clearly these different things I'm going to share with you all today about, how we should handle our quote unquote enemies. And so, with that being said, I'm not confused by that part. I think the part that confuses me sometimes is like, again, when I don't necessarily see someone as an enemy, it's like, well, so how should I move forward? Should I just I mean, obviously, if I do what the words say do, then there's still going to be interaction, or there's still, or whatever, or should I just let it be and just, remove myself or whatever, maybe we should, you know, not be in communication or whatever the case is. So it's just, that's the stuff I go back and forth about, where it's like, okay, Lord, I want to do what you're saying. But at the same time, too, I need to, I guess, set boundaries or whatever. And I know that I'm not fully handling everything the way that the Bible tells us to handle it. Um, Especially in regards to, like, you know, bringing my issue to a person and then bringing it to them with someone else. That whole process or whatever. So I mean, I guess maybe there again in lies some of the issues as well when it comes to me in particular. But hey, here we go. This is what I'm studying today, and honestly, again, I don't feel like it's anything new, but maybe the Lord's gonna reveal something new to me today. In regards to all of this, because I feel like I've shared, this concept of this conversation about enemies and whatnot. And I'm about to share the definition and all this stuff again, but yeah, I mean, we'll see. We'll see what the Lord do. Let's get into it, y'all. My enemies, right? So when I look up the definition of enemy, it says a person who is actively opposed or hostile to someone or something. Again, a person who is actively opposed or hostile to someone or something. Well, I mean, we know that there's plenty of people that are hostile against God, right? They're hostile against the things that the Bible has to say. They're hostile against Jesus, right? And everything like that. And so ultimately, and the Bible tells us that at the end of the day, even though we may be dealing with people, it's really not flesh and blood that we're dealing with. It's a spirit, right? So again, if people aren't walking in the will of the Lord, then they're operating in the Antichrist spirit. Therefore, if they're speaking or doing things accordingly, I mean, we can't be necessarily mad, because once, we're we, right? We were doing the same thing at some point. Probably still do at some point, and everything like that. And so I guess, again, those are the things that kind of hold me accountable, right? Those are the things that kind of make me, remind myself, humble myself, X, Y, and Z. As nice as I feel like I am, right? At the end of the day, there's none good. None of us are good. None of us are perfect. All of us have fallen short, X, Y, and Z. All of us need grace and mercy, all those things. So, again, therein lies my internal battle, y'all, because I'm like, okay, well, the Lord gives me grace and mercy, like, so who am I not to show grace and mercy to the next person? Now, what does that mean for me? Like, does that mean, again, I do understand the concept of, quote unquote, protecting myself, right? Protecting my peace of mind, right? Things of that nature. And so, yeah, let's keep going. Let's keep going. So then we came across Luke 6 this morning. And even though Luke 6:20 through 49 is in the Go Deeper section, I feel like to just share Luke 27 and 28 in this moment. And it says, "But I say unto you which hear, love your enemies, do good to them which hate you. Bless them that curse you, and pray for they which despitefully use you." So yeah. Even if I just stop right there, I mean, I think, that speaks volume again on the heart of God. That speaks volumes on what he wants us to do and how he wants us to handle our quote unquote enemies and everything like that. And technically, I guess, this is what we're supposed to do here. It says, love your enemies, do good to them, bless them, and pray for them. So, I don't have any confusion with that. I mean, I think, I mean, it goes on, if I'm not mistaken, in this, this section or whatever, talks about, feeding them and, giving them something to drink if they're thirsty, all these different type of things. So on one hand, I'm like, well, because here's my battle, man. Here's one of the things, or here's the things that I'm struggling with. Separating myself or continuing to, do what the word says in regards to, like, as I deal with this person or whatever the case is, or people, right? As I deal with people, like, do I just constantly deal with them and then continue to just do these things? Or is there some point to separate myself and whatnot in regards to, setting a boundary or whatever the case is? Like in some ways, I feel like I've been getting confirmation to, let God fight my battle, to, be quiet in some ways, and also to keep doing what I do, in regards to all these things that I just read. But I guess I also feel like some form of like separation happening. Now, I don't know if this is going to go back into this whole Lent and fasting conversation, because I feel like I've been coming across information and content regarding that, and even today, the Bible verse of the day is talking about fasting and whatnot as well. So I don't know if that's something that I need to be doing. I didn't necessarily feel led to do it. I'm just saying that I've been coming across content centered around it lately, and so I'm like, is this the Lord telling me that I need to fast, and in what way, and things like that, because I know some people fast from social media and all these different things, and I don't know. I don't feel like I've necessarily been led per se to do that. But then I'm like, what do I need to separate myself, fast from people? Is that a thing? Because even as I was doing this, I guess, study this morning, things came into my heart and mind about like Jesus taking time away from the Pharisees and whatnot, or, David not coming around Saul all the time, you know what I mean, in the midst of those persecutions and whatnot. Now, I might need to go deeper and, read both of those accounts and get a little bit more understanding and whatnot, but they did cross my mind this morning, and I felt led to look into them, and I did slightly, but I guess not enough to share today. So we're going to see what the Lord do in regards to that. But yeah, just something I'm thinking and praying about, y'all. Just something I'm thinking and praying about. Now, here goes some, more familiar verses. I'm sure we know them already, but here they are. Romans 12:14. Bless those who persecute you. Bless and do not curse them. At the end of the day, like I said, I mean, a lot of the quote-unquote enemies or enemy-like situations in my life, I don't necessarily personally, again, look at them like enemies. I mean, in my mind, I want to see everybody win, at the end of the day, and anything that I can do to assist people with their journey, I'm willing to do and whatnot. Now, I understand that everybody not like me, and everything like that. I know even my sister and I was kind of talking about that yesterday, where we're like, I guess we were raised a certain way to where, if I know something that can help you, or if I can do something that can help you, we're willing to do that and willing to share that information and whatnot. And very rarely do we come around people that are willing to do the same. Now, not to say that we're the only ones. Yeah, there are definitely people I feel like the Lord has put like friends in my life and things like that, where the feeling is definitely mutual across the board, and things like that. But yeah, I mean, I guess it shouldn't be hard to, again, bless those that persecute us and not curse them. Again, it shouldn't be. I'm sure it is for some people, but it shouldn't be hard. I know, let me see, I think it's back in Luke, where it's, at some point it starts talking about, like, if you just love people that love you, I'm paraphrasing here, but it's like, what's the good in that? You loving people that love you, like everybody does that. But if you love your enemies, that's on another level. That shows the love of Christ, that, everything like that. So again, something to think about, but let's keep going. Proverbs 24:17. Do not rejoice when your enemy falls, and let not your heart be glad when he stumbles. I mean, there you go. I mean, I guess we all risk the, how can I say, the temptation to cheer when we see someone falling. Or, again, I'm pretty sure I've seen several accounts in, like Lamentations or in the Bible where people are like, Lord, when are you going to, avenge me, and all these different things. And he can do it better than we can even think of, right? It's like, for me, when I think about it, it doesn't even behoove me to attempt to get my own get back when it comes to certain situations. I think that's why I tend to just let it go for me. Now, now again, I know everybody's not like me. Some people might want to face things head on and stuff like that. Me, I'm more so like, well, it's not going to kill me to let that situation go. Or, I'll try to understand it. I'll be trying to analyze and understand, like, where's it coming from and stuff like that. But ultimately, when you just realize that, okay, everything is spiritual and whatnot, and so there's good and evil, and at the end of the day, if it looks like evil and sounds like evil and all that, then it's probably evil, even if it's coming from a person that you don't necessarily look at as evil. But, it's all about what we're operating in and what we're choosing to follow in our life and whatnot. And so, I don't know if this is heavy today. Like, is this a heavy conversation? Maybe those of you all are, maybe somebody out there really does have an enemy, like somebody you really feel like is an enemy. And maybe you need to, I guess, hear this today. Maybe this is why it may be brand new to you, the things that I'm saying. Yeah, like I said, I think my struggle is I don't see, quote unquote, if I want to even think about people as enemies, I don't necessarily see people as enemies. So I think that's what makes it hard for me to figure out what to do. But that's me. That's me. Maybe you can clearly define your enemy. You know what I mean? You know that person, they've been your enemy your whole life. It's like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. But this is how you should handle it, friend. That's all I'm sharing on today. This is how it should be handled. Now, Romans 12:20, it says, to the contrary, if your enemy is hungry, feed him. If he is thirsty, give him something to drink, for by so doing, you will heap burning coals on his head. So, so this is the verse I was referring to earlier. So my apologies if I said that it was in Luke, because I think I said it was in Luke. But yeah, this is what it's saying here, y'all. And so because of that, even this morning as I was reflecting, I'm like, okay, well, completely separating myself from my quote unquote enemies may not even be the best thing, because how am I going to feed them? You know what I'm saying? How am I going to give them something to drink if they're thirsty and things like that? And I know I've told y'all before about this verse and what it makes me think about. It's like, but if you haven't heard that, basically, if you really want to get back at somebody, it seems like you need to do this, because at the end of the day, again, God does vengeance and whatnot way better than we can even think of. So if you truly want to get somebody back, then be all the things that the Bible is telling us to be. I think ultimately one thing that I was receiving, because again, like I said, there's this battle between, like, should I be more of this or that, or should I continue to just be me, right, and continue to like do things biblically and all those different type of things. And I feel like I got a little bit more confirmation this morning to just be me, continue to be kind, continue to be nice, continue to, I guess, heap the coals on people's heads by allowing God to take care of any vengeance and get back and revenge or whatever the case is. Like, not that I want to get back at nobody. You know what I'm saying? I'm not in a situation where I feel like I'm wanting to see someone, I guess, suffer for what they've done to me or whatever the case is. But hey, like these are the things that kind of gave me, I guess, a little bit more confirmation about being Christ-like, right? So here's a couple of quotes that I came across this morning, I believe it was, and I shared them on our Facebook page. If you guys want to see the images and things like that, you know, God, Sex, and Love on Facebook, y'all. But anywho, here they go. So one of the quotes says, "Never stop being a good person because of bad people." Okay. Now again, none of us are good, none of us are perfect, all of us are sin. So let's keep that in our hearts and minds, right? But if you feel like, okay, I'm on the path of, walking righteously with Christ, X, Y, and Z, and you on the good side, right? Or whatever the case is, then, like it says, never stop being a good person because of bad people. I mean, I feel like it's self-explanatory, really. I mean, again, I know there's a lot of temptation to just, again, do tit for tat or be evil or be mad or be upset or be everything the opposite of what these verses I already read to you all say. But we shouldn't allow, again, what other people do to affect what we do. And I think that's one thing that I've really been like learning over these past few years of doing this whole concept of the juice and everything like that. I feel like that's what keeps being reiterated, like whether it's in my marriage, whether it's in, relationships, whether it's in whatever it is, I need to continue to be good, even with when I'm faced with bad. So there you go. There's something to think about there. The other quote that I came across this morning that I felt led to share was relationship with a good person is like a sugar cane. Break it, crush it, squeeze it, or even beat or grind it. Still, you will get only sweetness. So, listen, if that ain't Christ, I don't know what to tell you, right? And if we're not supposed to, I feel like that's what Christ did, and that's what we're supposed to do at the end of the day. So, y'all can let all that stuff marinate, because ultimately that is the juice this morning. Again, I don't feel like I got no enemies. I know that the title is called My Enemies, y'all, but I don't necessarily feel like I have any, to be honest. But, hey, if you feel like you got some, then I hope that this encourages you and inspires you today. You guys can go deeper. Check out those verses and things that are in the Go Deeper section. Like I said, personally, I think I am going to try to look into how Jesus handled the Pharisees, or specifically the time that he took away. Because I could, if I'm not mistaken, I think that I remember seeing verses where it's like he wouldn't go specifically to certain places because of the interactions with the people there and things like that. So I feel like that came into my heart and mind about how I should handle my situation, even though sometimes, again, I'm struggling going back and forth with that idea, but still. It came to my heart and mind, so I'm going to look into that. And then I think I'm going to look into, like I said, David and Saul. Because I think even though David was around Saul and David was like, but I think there were times where he was, didn't necessarily go around his presence, right? Because he was chasing him. So if how can Saul chase him if he was right there? So, I believe that there's something to that for me. But we'll see. We'll see. Now, the Bible verse of today says, it is Joel 2:12 and 13. It says, "Therefore also now, saith the Lord, return ye even to me with all your heart, and with weeping and with fasting and with weeping and with mourning. And rend your heart and not your garments, and turn unto the Lord your God, for he is gracious and merciful, slow to anger, and of great kindness, and prepareth him." So I don't know what that is. Sorry. I'm going to do better at some point. Y'all can look that up, but him of the evil. So, yeah. this again, where this came up, because I came across this verse this morning as I was looking up things, because at some point I did look up fasting, and then to come across that for the Bible verse of the day was interesting. So we're going to see what the Lord do and what that means for me and stuff. But in the meantime, in between time, I hope that you all have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for listening. And I look forward to talking to you all tomorrow, if the Lord's will. Bye-bye. Did you know that you can support us for just 99 cents a month? That's right, friends. You can support everything that we do here at GSL for just 99 cents a month. Take a look around wherever this post is. You might see a link or maybe even a button that says support. Go there, check out the options, consider supporting us because, we enjoy bringing you all the daily inspiration as well as the weekly talk show, but we have much, much more to come. Thank you so much for the consideration. Bye-bye.